Hello, I'm Carl Bradshaw, and this is Chaparral Motorsports, and today we're going to take this Africa Twin CRF 1000L out and put these Continental TKC70 tires to the test. Now, this TKC70 tire is a very unique animal. It's basically a combination of a TKC80, which is their extremely off-road oriented tire, and the Conti Trail Attack 2 tire, which is primarily a street tire that can do a little bit of off-road. This tire is going to be a tire that's built for 40% off-road and 60% on-road. So if you primarily ride on-road, but you want a capable tire when you do get off the tarmac, this TKC70 might be a tire that you want to take a look at. Now, what we're going to do today is we're going to give you a walk around of the bike, showing you some of the features and benefits that this tire is proposed to have from Continental. We're then going to take it out and we're going to put it through its paces. We're going to hit the sand wash. We're going to hit 5-lane highway at decent speeds. We're going to get off and do some highway backcountry roads. We're going to get into the dirt. We're going to do some off-road hill climbs. We're then going to have a relatively technical for an adventure bike section of dirt road that then brings us back down here to the shop. We're really going to test this tire in a lot of the situations that the true adventure rider is going to see when they're out there on their motorcycles. What you're looking at here is the Continental TKC70 V-rated dual sport tire. This is a 60% on-road, 40% off-road dual sport motorcycle tire. It has multi-grip technology, which controls the properties of a single compound to deliver the benefits of a multi-compound tire without the abrupt transition between the different compounds. This tire retains excellent grip and mileage with a continuous transition between the grip of the flexible shoulder area and the mileage boost of the wear-resistant central tread area. Rain Grip Silica has been introduced for optimized compound for superior wet grip, right down to the microscopic level on the road surface. This trail tire has a radial and diagonal bias ply design constructed for off-road use with a high speed index. It features a 0-degree steel-belted radial construction for high stability and low kickback. The uniquely constructed tread block pattern is quiet and stable on the road, while providing good off-road capabilities. It's agile performance on the streets, and it's very safe on gravel roads. It's rugged enough for off-road capability, combined with a balanced street performance. This tire was designed for light to medium off-road use with extraordinary street performance. These TKC70 tires are tubeless motorcycle tires. They're V-rated for speeds up to 149 miles an hour. Now that we've given you the finer details of this Continental TKC70 tire, it's time to mount up, time to get you inside my helmet so you can see real time just exactly how this tire is functioning. Let's get to it. So as I mentioned, we're leaving the parking lot. I'm on the TKC70, which is going to be a primarily street tire with some dirt capability mixed in. Now, with every single new tire you ever mount to your motorcycle, you need to make sure you scrub them in. So we're going to make sure we go to the sand wash and ride through some sandy, granity type situations so that we make sure we get that initial layer of the tire kind of buffed away, if you will, so that we can have optimum traction. Now, I did ride these tires out to lunch today, and now this is the second time that I've been on these tires. And I can say the TKC70 feels just like a street tire. I would rock these on a motorcycle track or put these into any canyon against any motorcycle out there. They're really round and they feel really good. Lots of initial bite or traction. Yes, they're new and we still need to scrub them in, but initial feel is they feel really good. Now later on today, I'm going to be jumping onto that bike right there that has the TKC80s mounted up to it. Hey Travis, come up next to me here, please. So the TKC80 is a full-on knobby tire that is DOT rated and is great for these big adventure motorcycles. It allows you to travel off-road as aggressive as you want and still be able to handle some twisties. Or highway, as far as we're doing here, 5 lanes of California mega freeway here. What do I want to say? I want to say that later on I'm going to be on those tires and you're going to see that they're going to perform much better in the dirt than these TKC70s. Conversely, when we get up into the twisties and start hammering some major corners, these TKC70s are going to excel over the 80s. Now the three biggest things you're going to notice between the TKC70 on my bike and the TKC80 on his bike is going to be the actual tread depth. The TKC80 is going to be a little bit thicker than that of the TKC70. You're going to notice the blocks are much further apart. His is a full knobby tire, and mine just has larger rain grooves, if you will, that allow water to evacuate and allow it to grab dirt. Now, a very interesting thing about the TKC70 is, although it looks primarily like a street tire, it really does, it's going to have lots of leading edges. You're going to see lots of diamond peaks on there, and they did that so it can grab dirt more efficiently. It's not going to grab as much dirt as that TKC80 rear, but it's going to grab a lot more spots than that tire there. As you can see, it's a single set of knobbies that go across each of those areas. So you're basically going to have a bite, grip, slip, bite, grip, slip with the TKC80 versus the 70 has so many different leading edges that different parts of the tire are going to be biting, grabbing, and pulling as that tire is making its rotations. That's really what helps that tire become the best dirt tire that it can be. All right, we're still coming up on the sand wash that we're going to be rolling these tires through, but real quick, I'm going to jump up on this little cement wall here and see what side traction feels like on these TKC70s. It's pretty much a sticky compound, so I was expecting it to handle as good as it does, but it sticks really well. Ooh, no stopping power in the dirt. That's one thing about that center strip on a lot of these tires, dude. Your stopping power in the soft stuff is kind of limited. So what you're going to see is the profile of this tire is round for a knobby tire, but it's not quite as round as this guy right here. You're going to notice that the amount of rubber on the ground on this one is quite a bit more here in the center. You see that we're only running on this little section here when he's rolling down the road versus this one looks like it's a little bit wider. So we do have more rubber on the ground going forward. Now, when I do slam on the brakes on dirt or gravel, this tire has way less stopping power than this guy over here. Now, I've personally run both of these tires on my R1200 GS Adventure as well as my 950 Super Adventure, so I'm very familiar with how I'm used to these tires feeling on those two bikes. So it's going to be interesting today to compare the TKC80 against the 70 out here in these conditions on relatively the same bike. I was talking earlier about leading edges. On this tire here, you can see you got a leading edge here, 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 and then we come back down. You have this edge, you got the point, the point, the point. So there's lots of leading edges here, more so on the side. So when you get into dirt, you're going to sink down to here anyway. This is going to kind of disappear. Where on this, you have a whole block that's open here. So you're going to have a bite and grip and then a slip, and then a bite, a grip, and a slip. That's kind of what I was trying to explain earlier. So let's get these things out of the dirt and see what they can do. Now, we are aired up to 30 PSI front and rear on all four of these tires. So we have the same exact setup. So let's see how these tires do out there in the wash, dude.
And that's the same PSI we do with any tire that we test. We don't really take what the manufacturer recommends. We're doing a tire test. Everyone gets the same PSI.
That's it. Let's roll. Traction control off, my friend. We do not want traction control to be impeding what we're doing out here today.
TCO. I want to make a t-shirt that says TCO.
Oh, ABS too? That was good. That was a good ABS reminder.
I kind of like my ABS.
I usually run ABS. I can hammer fire roads way faster with ABS on than I can with it off.
And that's why I've always kept mine on, because you've told me that, and I really like it.
Go. Oh, shit. Sorry. Almost took him out. This tire is not so stable on the dirt road. Whoa. So Travis obviously has way more traction than I do here. Oh, he's throwing some rocks at me too. Oh, man. That TKC80's, oh, nice jump. Me too.
Yeah, this is
dude, that
like
tire,
a really...
that tire's kicking up some major rocks into the front of my bike and to my face shield, dude. So this one here, it's weird. It's like when it kicks over on the side to back in, it like just disappears sideways.
Oh, it's not a controllable drift.
Not as much, no. So look at this.
Yeah, I noticed that. Now mine feels like a really big knobby dirt bike tire.
So right now I feel like I'm skating on top of the ground instead of actually biting in and getting, whoa, almost lost the front end. Woo.
And I'm feeling the exact opposite of what you just said. I mean, these bikes are pretty heavy in general, so they really do allow the tires to stay on the ground, but you do have to have a good tread pattern for the terrain that you're running. And that's the whole reason we're doing this test, is so you guys can, I'm going to take the more gnarly side since I have the aggressive tires.
Definitely not feeling that front tire track as straight as I want it to. I'm definitely kind of all over the place at the moment. Now, that, oh shoot!
Now this thing, man, I'm cruising. Yeah, you know, I feel forward momentum.
I mean, my rear tire says we're doing 30 miles an hour, but I'm having a hard time believing that.
And mine says I'm going 30 miles an hour and I'm pulling away from you. So
really fast.
Let's see, currently in second gear, yeah, 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, I'm third gear, 30 miles an hour. Now, once I'm up to speed, this thing kind of mellows out and does a good job. But it's getting up to that speed that I'm having a hard time with on this tire. All right, so right now I'm gonna pin the throttle and see how fast I can get up to speed. Travis is gonna wait until I get ahead of him a bit because I know that is gonna grab way more traction in the sand and he should be able to scream past me. I'm gonna do my best to stay ahead of him, but I just don't see that happening. Ready? Set?
Ready.
Well, here we are, pinned wide open. Trying to get traction here, guys. Trying to get traction. Oh. That, my friends, is the difference between a TKC70 and a TKC80 in the sand. Again, I've been pinned open the whole time. I'm just spinning like mad back here trying to get this thing to hook up. Dude, you killed me.
I think the trick is to short shift, and I didn't short shift first gear, so I probably would have.
I was fourth gear through there, so I was definitely.
No, I think for the trick of this rear tire on this bike is to get into second gear as quick as possible, which I mentioned that before when we're in the sand, but I think I lagged on that and I still got you. That's pretty impressive.
You definitely got me, that's for sure. All right, I'm gonna come in here and give Eric something to shoot. Ready? Here we go. I can't see. Woo! Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Let's do it.
You got this, Kyle. You got this. Get it, get it, get it, get it.
Oh. So close. Oh, I just got roosted to the max.
Dude, that did not feel good when I hit that curb. Sorry, dude, didn't mean to roost you.
Oh my gosh, you roosted the heck out of me. Definitely a workout. Oh, front end does not want to grip, dude. Doesn't want to grip.
I'll test that right now on mine.
Front end wants to throw me to the side.
These 80s have been good to me so far in the soft stuff. Obviously I know I'm gonna have to back it down a little bit. Let me just show you guys what I just hit with my front end. Holy balls.
All right, I'm now jumping off of the TKC70 onto the bike that has the TKC80s. dude, the amount of takeoff this has compared to that's pretty big. That shift into second gear does have to be quick though.
Oh yeah, these boys are all over the place. The front end does not feel stable at all. Oh,
We've already seen Travis charge up this hill and completely surpass my stuck TKC70s. I'm now in the 80s. I'm going to take the same exact path that I just took on that DCT model with TKC70s. So I am feeling lots more initial forward momentum, and this thing just climbs the top with ease compared to those 70s. Again, the amount of grip or spaces between those two sections of knobs is really what's making the difference here. See Travis come up here on the 70s.
Yeah, but I still need a good tire to get up a hill, and I am just completely stuck right now.
Travis is stuck down there on those 70s, not able to get out of the sand. That's the second time this bike's been completely buried in the back end. Those tires are doing a good job at throwing dirt up and burying the tire, but not really giving that forward momentum that we're looking for.
Now again,
here it comes.
Dirt. I'm a lot more familiar with dirt than I am street, but
you got it. Oh shoot!
I still need a good. I need a good tire.
Oh, dude. You saved it, but you put a lot of effort in that. That was full Supercross effort you put into that hill climb, dude. Nice work. Nice work. It's sketchy, huh?
I think this is actually the most sketchy hill climb we do throughout the day, just because of how loose it is.
Right. I mean, you managed on those tires, but it was not looking good.
Yeah, but if we had 2 or 3 or more of those to do along our adventure, I don't know if I'd want that.
You'd be pretty tired, huh?
Let's try going down. Now stay on the gas a little bit, and that really helps keep the bike straight. You can still pull the brakes in, just stay on the gas, and it'll keep the bike straight. Little motocross tip there. Nice.
This feels good.
Come on, baby. Oh my gosh, almost lost the front end. And these tires just, they are not sand worthy.
I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but Travis on that set of TKC70 just said that those tires are not sand worthy. Look at him, he's all over the place.
Hey, listen, I'm just trying to keep my balance, and I'm just going where the bike wants to go. Oh!
Like into that tree?
Yep, exactly. As long as I keep it on 2 wheels, right? And there's no wood to knock on around here. Whoa! Oh! 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 Oh no!
Oh man.
Okay, guys, I'm not talking this way because I'm scared. Well, yeah, a little scared to fall, but I'm talking this way just because these tires are sending me through a roller coaster ride. Woo! Let's see if they take us up the extreme hill that only one pair of tires has made it up. No, they didn't.
Ah! Ah! Oh, did you try up that hill?
Yeah, I got about 3/4. But it's really hard to get the run. Next hill. Holy mackerel, man. I cannot wait to get these tires back on the street. Oh, cliff. Okay, these rocks are going to help me get some momentum, some speed. Oh!
Nice jump, dude. Nice jump. That was good.
Thank you.
All right, so I got to tell you, TKC70s down there to sand, absolutely the way to go. Rock solid performance. Never a falter. Now down here, I can go ahead and preload the suspension and jump over any of these little water bars or lips or whatever you want to call them. These tires have a lot of traction and they feel really good in the dirt. Now these TKC80s, I can say, I can cruise along this bed here. Way more confidence than I did on the initial ride out on the TKC70s.
Yeah, so you entered the sand wash on the TKC70s. I entered the sand wash on the TKC80s, and halfway through it we switched. And now I'm on the TKC70s leaving the sand wash, and I could not be more excited to get on the road.
That's great.
These things are all over the place.
As you can see, dude, we're very scrubbed in on this TKC80. Let's come over here and look at the 70 real quick. You see that we're pretty scrubbed in over here too. So other than all the way over here on the side, which is what we're gonna get up in the canyon here, turn some of those super sharp corners. Let's do it. All right, Old Waterman Canyon Road is the road we're gonna take off here. We're gonna go up and meet up with the film crew to get some high-speed, super tight corners. As these roads are very indicative of true backcountry, highway, byway type roads. We're gonna see gravel in the road, probably some sand and some dirt and some rocks. There are falling rock signs that tell you that it's not always a clean road to ride on. You're gonna see potholes. You're gonna see potholes that have been filled in, tar snakes, all kinds of crazy stuff. Now I'm on the TKC70, and this really feels like a street tire. I'm not feeling it cut out at all whatsoever. I'm able to get all the way over. My foot's touching the ground, foot pegs touching the ground. As far as a road tire goes, man, this thing feels great. These tires are sticking to the ground like glue. I could scrape peg in tow in all these corners, and I'm not feeling it skip out like I was on that 80. Twice.
What?
Like twice. I brought it up, brought it back down, and brought it up again.
Oh, sweet.
All right, so now I'm on the TKC70. We just got done doing some high-speed, tight corner stuff. Now I want to show you kind of how these tires feel on this backcountry road. Now, last time I came through here, this area was flooded, as that sign says. The there's always all kinds of junk on this road, so you just kind of got to be careful. Every single time you go through it, there's something different. Like right here, we got rocks on the road, we got tar snakes, all kinds of action. This tire feels like a track tire. It feels so good. Super planted, great feedback from the sidewalls, no squirm or wiggle at all in this tire. Extremely planted. If there was one word that I could use to describe this tire on the road, it would be planted. As you can see, we're getting all the way over. We're really scrubbing these things in. We got some melted rubber down there from some of those high-speed corners we were hitting. TKC70, man, awesome street tire. Man, this tire feels so planted. Not any squirm, no move, no nothing. Just boom, straight as an arrow, solid as a rock. Now I'm dragging peg, I'm dragging foot, completely leaned over on these things. This is a no compromise street tire for sure. Definitely done their homework as far as street ability goes with this tire. So these TKC70 tires, I can maul up this road as fast as I want, and they completely stick to the ground. No ifs, ands, or buts. These tires are one of the best street tires that I've been riding on since we've been doing this tire test. They just grip and stick and handle these twisties like nobody's business. Part of that's the silica compound, part of that's the tread block makeup, and part of that's just because there's more rubber on the ground than a lot of these other tires that we've tested. This is probably the most street-oriented tread pattern that we've run, even though it does have large blocks. That really is a much rounded, more street-oriented profile with lots and lots of rubber on the ground. Take a look at that. That dirt road right there, that's the dirt road that we're going to go back and travel here in just a minute. Alright, now we're off to our little jump spot and to the hill climb. And already, immediately I can tell you that this tire isn't giving me that immediate traction feeling that I was expecting. Well, not expecting. It's doing what I expected, but unfortunately, the gaps on this tire aren't really large enough to be able to accommodate these larger rocks. So the tire just kind of wants to skate over the top of this particular type of gravel road. Now, when this turns into hard pack, this tire should do amazing, which is what we've seen with some of the other tires of this similar tread makeup. Yeah, right now, if I give it any throttle in these corners, the back end just comes out, slides around, and comes back. So right now I'm on the TKC80, which is the knobbier of the two tires that we're out testing today, and this thing is just gripping and going. Not hardly having a whole lot of slip, it's just a straight line up the hill. Feels good.
Now these, on the other hand, I don't think I would be able to gradually go up the hill like you. These tires here, I'd actually have to carry a lot of momentum in order to get get up the hill in a straight line. I'll try a different line myself. As to where the first line I chose was the better line of the few, and this one's not. again, I think with these tires, momentum is your friend. You can't really chug up a hill on these things, just because you're not going to get that bite like those TKC80s give you.
So TKC70, whoa, it's cutting loose. It's a very round tire. While it's doing better than I thought it might, it definitely is a bit sketch coming down. So right now we're about ready to leave the top of the mountain here, and we're going to head over that dirt road and then jump down to the valley floor. Now the next section of dirt we're about ready to hit is some of the most treacherous, quote unquote, if you will, sections of the trip. There's huge crevasses that have been put into the road, so you kind of got to dodge around those. It's really cool terrain, so take a look at the footage we have upcoming. Coming over here to the TKC70, you can see that the center strip here really limits you if you're not aired down far enough for all these pieces to be able to hit the ground. Conversely, I'm going to say that this tire is a phenomenal street tire. This thing really does a great job at sticking to the pavement and allowing you to travel as fast or as hard as you want to on paved surfaces. All right, that being said, let's get on these beasts and get down the road. It's right around this corner. We're going to start having huge washouts here in the road.
It's more of a technical terrain to where you got to be on your toes because of what's ahead.
So it's interesting. It's like this terrain right here that's almost hard package, these tires feel really good in. But as soon as there's some like rocks on the top of it, that's when they get sketched out.
Yeah, because they're so round. They're not really, like you said before, they're not really flattening out and biting.
Oh! I definitely don't want to go over that edge. That edge is sketchy, dude. Oh. Now this is some super soft dirt with some large rocks in it. Really good for traction, actually. Until we get down here where the cars have kind of washed it all away. Then it's a bit sketchy with these rocks on the top.
The left side is better.
Is it? Ah! 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 Woo! This front tire is not my friend. Not my friend at all whatsoever! Oh. Woo! Man, that was hairy. Oh. I got my heart racing. Yeah, dude, these tires are literally skating on the top of these rocks. I'm really not getting, I'm not getting any traction at all whatsoever because the rocks underneath are just rolling away. Super sketchy. Oh, come on, buddy. Come on, get over in the dirt. Well, not that dirt. Stay away from that dirt. Go to that dirt. Oh, man. All right. But then this right here, this feels so good. It's crazy how the terrain changes just a little bit. Like this right here, watch. Totally grab throttle and totally get where I'm going. I can use the brakes and they work. There's more of a hard packed ground. These TKC70s do a really good job. And like I said, it's when the rocks get on top, things get a little bit slippery and a little bit sketchy. Now back out here on the highway, these tires are nice and smooth. They feel at home. I guess that's why they're 60% street. All Alright guys, so we're just getting back down to Chaparral Motorsports after having been up in the mountains all day long testing these Continental TKC80s and TKC70s. Now the TKC70 that I've been on the majority of the day is 60% street tire, 40% dirt tire. Now I can tell you the percentage of street that this tire is capable of, quote unquote, I'm going to say is 100%, 110%. Amazing when it comes to riding on the street. Now, when this tire gets into the dirt, I'm gonna say 40% is stretching it quite a bit. I'm gonna say this tire is an 80-20 tire, 80% street, 20% dirt, because that's kind of how I felt when I was out there tearing up the asphalt. I felt that on the asphalt, this tire was a phenomenal tire, and in the dirt, it was just marginal. So take a look at our other videos of the other tires that we've tested. We've literally done 21 tire tests in the adventure segment. 50-50 tires, 80-20 tires, and then a couple tires in between. But that's going to be our wrap up of this outing. If you're looking for a street tire, go with the TKC70. If you're looking for more off-road action, go with the TKC80. Now let's take a walk around these bikes and take a look at what these tires look like after having been on them for about 150 miles. You can see this TKC80 is not very worn. You can see that we have a little bit of scrubbing here at the back sides of each of these lugs. Now that is very, very common on any knobby adventure tire. What's going to happen is when you brake, it's going to fold that lug over, and you're going to get that leading edge is going to be higher than all of the trailing edges. That's a very, very common thing that happens on adventure tires. You can see that when we're leaned over, we get some squish, we get some squirm out of these tires, but it feels very controlled. I really like the way that these feel on the street. That's why they're the OEM tire on so many different motorcycles. Now moving over to the TKC70, we can see here that there's really not a whole lot of squirm. We can see that we did wear some edges here on the corners when we're fully leaned over, getting some good traction. We never felt these tires slip out at all, ever. They did a phenomenal job at sticking to the tarmac. Now when it comes to downhill stuff that we did, these did not provide the traction that I was looking for. They were pretty slippery. I had the front end kind of wash out a couple times, and it wasn't the most fun. But as you can see, the wear on the TKC70 versus the TKC80 is significantly less, and like I said, in the 150 miles that we did today. Let's jump around to the back and see what we have over here. TKC70, we're leaning all the way over the edge. We're using up all of the tire. You can see that we have the leading edges that have a little bit of wear on them. Now, if you take a look at some of the tires that we've been running throughout the other tests that we've done, we've had similar wear characteristics on all of them. The terrain that we're testing these tires on is absolutely extreme. And again, I'm going to point out these leading edges. All of these leading edges help this tire bite. We're running 30 PSI. Off-road, I'd probably drop this down to probably 20, 25, and I'd get better bite from these side lugs than we experienced today. It is a pretty stiff sidewall, and I feel that the 30 pounds of pressure that we were running kind of limited that tire and kind of what we were doing today. Anyhow, that's it. This is the Africa Twin DCT standard model, DCT model, TKC80, TKC70. This is Chaparral Motorsports. I'm Kyle Bradshaw. Thanks for tuning in. If you like what you saw today, please give us a thumbs up. And if you want more action like this to come directly to your inbox, please hit the subscribe button and notification bell. Until next time, take care and ride safe out there.